Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter. My name is Sean Dexter. My name is Sean Dexter. And I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is this maniac taking his name 3 times? How full of himself is he? Well, if you guys have been following the Grove for a while, you know that if Sean is taking his name 3 times, introducing himself 3 times, he's likely in a very, very good mood. And I am in a very, very good mood, and has nothing to do with this price action over here. It's more so because I had a really, really good gym session, and it's been a while since I've had one like that, recovering from an injury and all of that jazz. That being said, let's go ahead and start talking about some price action. We have a lot to talk about today. We'll be talking about Bitcoin, we'll be talking about Chainlink as usual, Ethereum, and I also want to talk about traditional markets. I've been meaning to talk about it all week. Now we're at the end of the week. I have no excuse. I have to discuss it before we close this week off. And hey, we have Bitcoin over here on the 4-hour. And the reason I'm starting with the 4 hours because dramatic effect. This looks a lot more scary on the lower time frames than it does on the higher time frames. Over here at the Mango Grove, we aren't too surprised at all with this price action, right? Well, it turns out some of us still are surprised, even though we've been talking about, hey, let's be careful, let's wait for the weekly close. I woke up this morning to more than a few PMs from people saying, hey, Sean, I bought around 9,100, 9,050-ish. What do I do now? Why? Okay, I'm not here to give you guys financial advice, but come on, guys. We've been saying for the longest time, yes, Bitcoin was looking good. Okay, but we've been eyeing the weekly chart for more than a few weeks now, right? We said, let's be patient. Let's wait for the week to actually confirm above this 8,750 region before we get too excited. At least that's how I was playing it. That's how I was doing it. And even though I don't give financial advice, and even though I will never say, hey guys, this is what you should do. Okay, I'll never say that because it's not my place to tell you how to trade, but I kind of put things in between the lines, right, where things are looking scary, and I was not liking what we were seeing here at all, which is why I was doing something very unusual for my trading behavior, where I was taking profits on my trade, even though I like to catch big trend trades, right? Why was that? It's because we lost this weekly 21 EMA. It was very uncharacteristic of Bitcoin to do that, even though we bounced off that tanking, right? That's where we took our trade. We took our trade around 8,455, 8,460, something like that. And we've been scaling out of our trade, even though it was going our way. Why? Because we were invalidated on our thesis, even though we weren't profits. And we take that as an opportunity to get out of our trade because we are sticking to our rules of, hey, you're invalidated, get out of your trade while the market is letting you. And what do you know? The market was letting us get out in profits. That's a gift. We took some profits off first at the weekly 21 EMA, okay, sitting at 8,750, by the way, and then the 10 SMA on the weekly as well, and then we're letting the rest ride, actually even trading in and out, but not as aggressive as we usually do. Why were we doing that? Because we were waiting for this weekly close. Our thesis was, hey, we are going to wait for this weekly to close above this weekly 21 EMA, and then we will get aggressive if we can catch a daily higher low at around 8,750, and if that lines up with the weekly also closing above 8,750. And what do you know, guys? We get dumped, and dumped where? Right onto that 8,750 line. And where does it line up with? The daily 200 moving average as well, right? Everything coming into confluence over here. The daily 10 SMA, the daily 200 moving average, everything right over here. So we haven't closed the week yet, right? We have 16 hours before this happens, and now it all depends on what happens in this next 16 hours. Do the bulls actually defend this weekly zone right over here? Let's turn on our horizontals. This blue box territory, initially I had this blue box territory to include the 10 SMA as well, but as you guys can see, this 10 SMA over the past 2 or 3 weeks has been moving aggressively to the upside, and I've adjusted it now to include only the 21 EMA, the Tenkin, and the Kijun. Good enough for me. We'll be playing that zone, and that's essentially what our thesis was, right? Going into the next week, we wanted Bitcoin to close above this weekly 21 EMA, also lined up with our horizontals on the BitMEX chart that we've drawn. Let's turn off the mango ribbon over here for a second. Very clean chart over here, right? We said, hey, if Bitcoin closes underneath 8,750, we'll be looking for further downside all the way perhaps to 7,500, 7,700. That's the next zone I'll be looking at, guys. Yes, it's scary, but that is what it's going to, that's what I'll be looking at. Okay, we haven't closed this week yet, but you know, unless we see a strong defense, guys, I'm going to be leaning slightly bearish. Now, that's not to say that it's not worth trying for a trade over here. Okay, if we catch a higher low over here, lining up with the daily 200, let's go back on over to that chart over here. Lining up with the daily 200, lining up with the daily 10 SMA. I am inclined, I'm going to have to think about this, but I'm inclined to try for a trade over here and then hope for a daily close above the 10 SMA as well. If we do that, then I'll be looking for a test back on over to this daily 21 EMA over here, 9,111-ish, okay? What happens from there is going to decide whether the rest of the month is bullish or not. If we get another rejection, I'll actually be looking to take on a short position on the weekly time frame and target that move all the way down to 7,700. Okay, so essentially what I'm looking for right now is a bounce over here, a close over the 10 SMA on the daily time frame, and then we go somewhere around here and I'll be watching price action. If we see weakness over here and we don't take out these highs over here, guys, I'll be looking towards selling and actually taking a short position and targeting a move towards the downside. Because this weekly right now, guys, let me go ahead and actually delete all of this. This weekly right now does not have the best look. If we had simply seen a rejection of the 10 SMA and then come and tested the weekly 21 EMA, that candle would have looked a lot better. But right now, this is looking like a weekly liquidity hunt, a hunt towards the upside, or at the very least a rejection. We do not have to get too nitpicky with the terminology or what exactly is going on. We're never really going to know what exactly is going on. Either way, this is looking like a rejection. And if we close underneath the weekly 21 EMA, that's going to look even clearer as to what the picture is. All right, and yeah, closing underneath the 21 EMA, testing the 10 SMA after that, and testing the 21 EMA again, seeing that rejection along with the monthly picture, by the way, which we had started off with, right? March, if you guys do remember, what I did not want the month to do was take out this low of the previous month, which was the February low of around 8,420, right? What do? We went and took out that low right at the beginning of the month, and it set the tone for me going into this week, which is why I was taking profits along these levels, along the weekly 10 SMA, along the weekly 21 EMA, and I'm pretty happy I stuck with that now, right? You guys are seeing exactly how it panned out. We were looking for the weekly defense of 8,750, and what happens closing into the week? The weekly 8,750 level gets tested. What happens from here now is going to dictate the picture. So we have to be patient for the next 16 hours. With that being said, I also do want to talk about traditional markets now. We touched on this very briefly. I believe on Tuesday, we were looking at, I think SPY was sitting right over here. Okay, it's 2nd of March or 3rd of March. We were looking at it and we're like, okay, we are likely going to come and test this Kijun and the Tenkin. We hadn't done that yet, and we're going to see a rejection. Why were we looking for that rejection? Because of the mango vine. This thing has been so strong. I'm not going to be going against it. Mango wine was red and we were looking for that rejection, a possible sell opportunity. What do you know? It turned out to be a good one. We had a move, a good 8% move, and for traditional markets, that is pretty good. Now, I am not getting overly bearish on traditional markets just yet. I know a lot of people are. I know a lot of people are excited to take on that big short and short the next recession, blah blah. But guys, just try not to be a smart ass over here. Firstly, we can wait for the right technical signals, and we can also wait for the right fundamental signals, right? We do have, okay, first let's talk about the fundamental signals. We just talked about the mango vine giving us that first sign right over here, turning bearish on the 4-hour time frame, then confluencing that with, okay, so this is in the strong, if you guys are do have access to the mango vine. By the way, I'll just throw it out there. It's Krisha's birthday coming up very soon, and I will have a quick flash sale on both our products, the vine and the seed. I'm not sure what the coupon code will be. I'm not even sure what the discount will be. But yeah, if you please do not buy the seed or the wine in the next coming days, because there will be a coupon put out especially for Krisha's birthday where you can get it for cheaper. Yeah, so the mango wine, if you guys do have access to it, you guys know that this isn't when it switch bearish over here, that isn't your strong signal, your perfect signal, but it is a good signal, right? Especially on the higher time frames. And it switch bearish over here, confluencing with the fact that, hey, we had the Tenkin and the Kijun coming in right over there. That was a good signal. Together, conjunction, you get a good signal, and we had that good move. But what I'm looking for, guys, that 12-hour signal is not here yet. In fact, the 12-hour is still saying you want to be accumulating a position over here. All right, so keep that in mind. The last time the 12-hour did give us a signal was right over here, switching a bearish right over here. It switched bearish right over here, guys, giving you a good signal, and then gave you that perfect signal right on this move over here. Okay, gave you that perfect signal right here, and you caught a very good move. A good 15 to 20% move on our traditional markets is nothing to be scoffed at all. Okay, so that's the signal I'd be looking for to get my short in on traditional markets. For now, I am simply being patient and watching BTC as well, and how traditional markets respond to the fundamental developments is going to affect how I trade Bitcoin as well. Now, I can go on and on and on about various weaknesses in the fundamental aspects of the market. Okay, there's lots of things I can talk about. I do not have the time to discuss that today, but I do want to talk about how Jay Powell actually announced a emergency rate cut, okay, which was pretty significant, and the market did not respond the way you would have expected the market to respond. Yes, we did see a bounce. What happens right after? You see a sell-off. Think about it. He announced a cut of 50 basis points, and the market simply shrugged that off. Now, another explanation could be that the bond market had already priced that in which case I would think that Jay Powell is likely going to have to cut rates again. Now, this is only my opinion, guys. Please do not use this as financial advice. And also, please be very careful listening to any other crypto YouTuber talking about anything related to Fed policy. All right, be very careful. I mean, guys, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back over here. I'm not trying to be egotistical in any way, but I pick up things a lot faster, and I've been studying these things for a long time, and I still do not run my mouth like a lot of these guys do. That being said, I do think that we may see another basis point cut in the next week or so, maybe up to another 50 basis points, maybe more. I don't know. Okay, I do have an idea, but I do not want to give you guys my opinion on that. I do not want to talk fundamentals, but what I do want to talk about is how the market responds to a potential move like that by the Fed would be very telling. I know a lot of people want to short and get in front run the next big recession, and there are weaknesses, but right now everything that people are focused on is related to coronavirus. It's related to, hey, there's going to be a big manufacturing shock, there's going to be a big supply shock, blah blah. And over here, right, somewhere around here, guys, I was telling everybody that you guys are downplaying the coronavirus. Okay, this thing is bigger than you guys are making it out to be, and you guys are downplaying it. Over here, I'm saying you guys are overplaying it. Now, don't get me wrong, this could very well be the catalyst that does cause a prolonged recession, that does cause a stock market crash. Every stock market crash starts off with a catalyst. In fact, the 1907 stock market crash, the 1907 panic, like they call it, actually, in my opinion, started off because of the earthquake that we saw in California in 1906. That was a year prior. But keep in mind, it started off a year prior to that, and there were other factors in place too. You had the big attempted short squeeze on copper. You also had Roosevelt with his war on business. There were different factors in place. Now, yes, we have Trump this time around, who is on the bull side, while Roosevelt was on the bear side of things. However, there are other factors in place that may cause a cascading effect. All right, and again, I don't want to get into any of that, but wait for those signs before taking a position, or the engine may backfire on you, and it may backfire on you very, very badly. By the way, I want to pause to say none of this is financial advice, and when I say the word you, I'm actually talking to myself, okay? You, Sean Dexter, because I watch these videos and I listen to my own advice. It's my advice for myself. None of this is financial advice for any of you random people watching this video. I don't know what I'm talking about. You will lose everything in the market if you listen to a word I say. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to some technical analysis. What signs am I waiting for? Well, the technical signs for basically, I'm going to be looking for the big signs on the mango indicator on the 12 hour. I'll be first looking to see that switch up red and switch bearish before I get aggressively bearish on this. Similar with Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin is not red yet on the mango vine. It's not telling me to go short just yet. The last time it gave short signals, it was timing it pretty well, and I'll be waiting for that before taking any aggressive position. Don't get me wrong, I have felt the itch, right? I have felt the itch. Like, I was tempted to short the daily 21 EMA over here because the freaking I had a huge feeling. You guys know, if you guys watch the entire week's videos, I had a huge feeling that we were going to see this massive rejection and come down to 8,750 and test that, right? But I was not going to front run my own system. I was not going to front run my own signals. I am waiting very patiently. Okay, I was willing to take profits and get out of the trade I did have, and I was glad to do that because, hey, the market was giving me a gift all of last week. But was I willing to break my own rules and take a shot? No, not just yet. Now I am taking a backseat approach right now because everything is a little bit uncertain. Remember, guys, a lot of people think that the stock market and BTC are like, BTC is a hedge to the stock market. I don't think so at all, because when the Fed announced the rate cuts, BTC rallied. All right, what does that tell you? BTC rallied. It tells you that they're correlated, man. So be a little bit more careful. You want the markets to be doing well, in my opinion, and BTC by default will do well. The lesser probability play, or it's less of a probability, okay, that Bitcoin does well and the stock market does bad. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just want the higher probability setup for a better outcome for Bitcoin, right? And the higher probability setup as things stand is stock market does well and Bitcoin will do well too, all right? So until we do see the signs, and we will see the signs in the near future, I'm pretty sure, we're just not there yet. The reason I am so bullish on Bitcoin is because eventually I do think those signs will show up, all right? Just to make that clear, I just don't think that it is very safe financially to be front running anything before those signs show up. All right, so that was my big long ramble on Bitcoin and on traditional markets as well. I'm not sure if I forgot anything. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting to mention something. There's a lot I do want to mention that I'm trying to avoid discussing in today's video because, hey, I'll just go on and on and on. All right, so let's go ahead and switch on over to Link BTC and then Link USD. Here we're Link BTC, and let's start with a clean chart, turn off everything. And what we're looking at, this formation over here, right? The fact that this candle looked very bearish, and then we took out the low over here. So we had two criteria when this candle was put in. When this candle was put in, we said, all right, this is not the best looking of candles, but since Link is Link, we can give the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, it may actually rally from here and see continuation on over to the upside, provided that it doesn't do one of these two things, and that was either close a candle, okay, underneath 52,354 Satoshi, this candle close over here, or it doesn't take out the wick over here at around 51,920 Satoshi. Well, in the next candle, it did both, and it put in this spinning top kind of candle as well. Not the best look, okay? A sell-off like this, a candle like this, upside down hammer, if you want to call it. The name doesn't matter, guys. It's the psychology of the candle that matters. And if you guys are on the candlestick analysis module, I mean, if you guys are on the seed program, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So we put in a candle like this, we took out the wick over here, we closed underneath as well. We were likely to see that continuation. We also had bearish divergence that we talked about in a video. I didn't do yesterday's video, Krisha did yesterday's video, I did the video 2 days ago, right? So Friday's video we talked about it, and we were looking for initially I was looking for a move down to the 10 SMA, but Then we changed that up and said, hey, you know what, we may come down to the weekly 21 EMA or these horizontals over here. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And I do think we lost the 10 SMA, or are we bouncing? I don't think we're bouncing off the 10 SMA. So first things first, we did come down to the horizontal. We're looking for this blue box territory actually as well. And we haven't made our way down there just yet, but I do think we will eventually. Let's go ahead and turn on a mango ribbon. That's where we got this blue box territory from. Yeah, we did lose the 10 SMA, by the way. We're retesting it now. If we do see a rejection, I do think we're going to come down and touch this blue box over here. Lines up with the Tenkin. Okay, let's show you guys for a bit. Right over there, it's the Tenkin as well as the 21 EMA. That's where we got it from. Now we can pretty much adjust this a little bit over here like this. It's getting thinner. Okay, should I put it up over here like this? That would be actually the right thing to do, but for now I'm just going to keep that there so I don't forget. I do think we're going to come and test this region over here if we see that rejection. If Chainlink BTC closes above the 10 SMA, then I think that's going to be actually strong, and we go ahead and test 52,247 Satoshi next after that. However, as things stand, I'd be leaning towards coming down and testing the blue box territory. If we lose the blue box territory as well, guys, if we close it daily underneath that, I think we're going to come down all the way up to 41,330 Satoshi. If we lose that as well, then all the way back down to this yellow line over here at 36,000 Satoshi. And we don't want that happening. That is your weekly level. And in that case, that is going to be a second test of this major level. We also have, we have the Tenkin shooting up all the way over here, guys. 40,425 Satoshi. Does it line up with anything? Remember that number. 40,224 Satoshi. Actually, that does line up with the flat line of this Kijun right over here. So perhaps we do something like what we did on the traditional markets on the Kijun on the weekly, where we come and actually wick down to this level over here and close above the Kijun at around 41,333, or wherever the Kijun comes up to at that point. So the flat line is where I'd be looking, this flat line Kijun over here, guys. I'd be looking for that on the daily level if you're looking for a bounce play. Now, I'm not advising that at all, but hey, this is something to keep an eye out for. Okay, if you're looking to perhaps look for a short on Chainlink somewhere around underneath the blue box territory, that could be a play, to be honest. That could very well be a play. If we actually take out these wicks over here and close underneath the blue box territory, that could be a play. A quick move towards this zone over here around 40,000 Satoshi. In and out, maybe. So that's Link BTC. We looked at the daily, we looked at the weekly also quickly, and it's actually playing out just like we talked about, right? It's beautiful. Link is actually beautiful. Even with this, Link is beautiful because look at how perfectly it met our measured move all the way up to 56,000 Satoshi, guys. It even shorted a slight bit over, but we were looking for this 110% move all the way from around here, and it actually met it. At the time, you were like, can Link actually do it? Can Link actually do it? I wasn't so convinced. As powerful as Link has been, I wasn't so convinced, and it actually met that measured move so beautifully. And you guys know that I'm not a big pattern guy at all, but Link has been playing all these patterns very beautifully, especially if you can identify the structures within the structures. It's like clockwork, man. Gorgeous. All right, so let's go on over to Link USD. All right, here we have Link USD on the daily on our Coinbase chart, and this is very similar to what we were discussing on the Bitcoin chart, right? Putting in some bearish divergence right over here, confirming this as a local top and seeing that drive down towards the bottom over here. I do think this is likely the daily 21 EMA where we're seeing a bounce. Let's go ahead and check out the oscillators for that bearish divergence. Yep, it was between these points over here and this point. Usually I wouldn't look that far back, guys, but it met the cut. And what do you know, there you go, the daily 21 EMA seeing a small bounce over here. The question is, do we come down lower? Let's clear out the oscillators for now. Actually, let's take a look at this. I want you guys to keep your eye on this. We don't want this crossing bearish, not at this zone over here, without coming and even crossing over the 80 zone. We want to see these widen up and actually come up over the 80 zone and start living above there. If we actually cross bearish over here, that's going to look like a rejection of the 80 zone, and I do not like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at the horizontals. I do play more emphasis on that. And if we close underneath $4.30, what am I doing? We probably have our horizontals open. Yeah, there you go, this dotted green line over here. If we close underneath this, guys, I do think that we're likely going to come down and test. It's not gonna, you guys are not going to like this answer. We're likely going to come down and test $3.85. I do believe that's our weekly level as well. Yup, right over there, $3.80. Yeah, this candle over here, guys, is not looking the best. If we close the week like this, pretty much triple topping, right? 1, 2, 3, liquidity hunt right over here, putting in a high. But if you close like this, I do think we come and test $3.85. That's looking like the mark. Switching on over to the daily, you guys do remember we were speculating something, right? And I don't like trading like that at all. I don't want you guys to get into the habit of doing that, but it's good to kind of just be prepared in case something like that happens. I do think we were talking about a possible, and now people are going to be like, this is not the perfect head and shoulders, Sean. You guys know I don't care about the pattern, I care about the psychology of what may happen, and this is what we were discussing, that hey, this is a potential scenario. And how do I look at this, guys, in terms of psychology? Well, the bulls having a nice push towards the upside, the bears stepping in over here, putting in a double top on the lower time frames, stepping in twice, pushing the price down, and the bulls giving in and then stepping in at major support and trying again, pushing the price even higher. A good sign, yes, but now what happens from here is going to dictate what happens next. I know that's not very useful, but it puts the probability of one thing happening over the other. Okay, so what I mean is, if the bears push this back down over here again, and then the bulls step in, whether it be over here at this horizontal at 385, or they step in over here at this horizontal at 350, okay, wherever that happens, if they fail to push higher again, that's where you have your psychology of your head and shoulders. Okay, understand the psychology of the patterns. That way you don't rely on the actual pattern, you're relying on market behavior. Then you're like, okay, the bulls are losing their strength. They were able to push higher once, but two failures on either side of a push attempt higher where it was just sold into, right? The bears are likely saying, nope, we have control of this formation over here, and we are likely going to push this towards the downside. So if we close this candle over here, guys, on the daily, I think we come and test 385 at the very least. Other than that, over here, we didn't have much to say than, hey, bearish divergence possibility. If we confirm this as a local top, we're likely going to come and test the daily 21 EMA. We did just that. We can go ahead and look at the lower time frames, actually. Let's say 4 hour and see if there's anything over there. Not the best look over here. We had a toppy formation over here, guys, right? You can look at that, right? Descending triangle, broke on over to the downside. That played out. Let's see, anything else? Turn on the mango ribbon. Losing the 21, losing the Tenkin, losing the 10 SMA. Likely going to come test the Kijun over here and drive down towards the 200 moving average. Close underneath the 200 moving average. We are likely going to come and test at 385. So we have confluence over there. Another play would be for us to come wick onto the 385 and close above the 200 moving average. Okay, so let's clear all of this out. I do see something that may have played out over here. Not played out entirely yet, but do we have a rising channel? Let's go ahead and see. Okay, so we have our levels for 385 based on everything else that we do, and now I'm drawing a pattern, right? You guys are seeing how I play my patterns. It's usually like the third thing I look at, but with Chainlink, these things do play out. So we may have something like this, okay, that has already broken down to the downside. So where would I take this from? Measured move, probably something like this. Let me make sure I have that right. Yeah, something like this is good. Don't need to be too anal with this. There we go. And from the breakdown point right over here, does line up with $3.85. So you're seeing a lot of confluence over here. You're seeing that rejection on the 4 hour as well, on the daily of that horizontal. You're at $4.33. Remember, guys, that was the middle of our range. Right over here too, you guys are seeing that as soon as we close to 4 hour candles over here, we went and shot up to the top of the range. As soon as we lose this 4 hour now, we close multiple candles underneath 431. We are likely going to come and test the bottom of the range, right? So we had the middle of the range over here, the green dotted line, the top of the range over here, the yellow solid line at $4.90, and the bottom of the range at $3.85. Okay, so the two solid lines, the yellow solid lines, are the bottom and the top of the range, coming in at $4.89 and $3.85, and the middle of the range was $4.33. We just lost the middle of the range. So do we come down and test the bottom of the range now? Really depends on how the daily candle closes. On the daily, we haven't really closed underneath the middle of the range just yet, so there's hope. If we close above, I think we come and test 455 first, and then after that, perhaps if we close above, 489. So that's the bull case. The bear case is if we close underneath over here, likely going to come and test at $3.86. Okay, so yep, that's Link BTC, Link USD, and now let's go ahead and talk about ETHUSD. All right, here we have ETHUSD on the 4 hour. And if you guys do remember, we took a trade right off this level over here at 228.75, and here's the funny thing, guys. I actually got no profits off this trade at all. Even though we rode it all the way to the top over here, we actually met our measured move to the T. This is actually pretty impressive that this played out so perfectly. A little bit underneath 253.20, but I had no take profits at all, and just literally hit that and got dumped into right after. I was looking to build this into a trend trade. If you guys do remember, my strategy was, okay, we are likely going to come down. I wasn't expecting this to keep going on further. I was looking to buy into a higher low on the daily time frame, right? I was looking to, and to be honest, that could still play out. But I'm not interested right now. We could basically, let's go ahead and turn on the daily 21 EMA. We could be bouncing right over here and close over this level and close at 235. Perhaps we end the day really well. It would also line up with a bounce on Bitcoin, but I'm not too interested in buying that like I was supposed to right now because of what happened on the 4 hour. In fact, I got out of my trade entirely and I got pretty much nothing out of the trade, even though I could have got a lot out of it. I let the trade pull back on me. It was part of the plan, and as soon as we closed underneath the cloud over here, I got out of the trade. If we had closed, in fact, I was going to get out even if we closed inside the cloud and underneath this horizontal. I was being a little bit stricter on myself, and we closed underneath both. We closed underneath the horizontal as well as the cloud. I got out of my trade, and what would have been a good 10% profit, a good $21 on top of my entry, ended up being only a couple of dollars, and that's not, how much was it? 228, and I got out somewhere around this candle close. So yeah, not even $2, $2.50ish or something like that. So yeah. The reason I want to talk about this and mention this to you guys is because I want to show you guys that, hey, when you are committing to a trend trade, you commit to the trend trade, and you need to be willing to give back profits, and it's going to happen, right? People only see the winning trades where I catch a big trend trade and I'm getting into a trend trade and it goes on and on and on. Sometimes the trend doesn't go on and on and on, and not sometimes actually, guys, a lot of times we are in a crypto market where we get good trends, right? There are going to be markets where you just do not get trending moves at all, and you need to be willing for the trade to pull back on you. You're going to leave money on the table, but you can't be thinking that, because if I took profits over here, it hit the measurement, I took profits over here, and this kept going, I would be like, damn. So you got to pick your poison, right? You got to pick your poison. Either miss out on a big trend that may be forming, or you miss out on some profits because the trend did not actually form. One of the two. You pick your strategy before going into the trade and decide, right? Bitcoin, think about it. I was doing the exact opposite. I was taking profits, right? In fact, Bitcoin had a very, very similar chart, and somebody asked me a question on the Bitcoin Ichimoku. Let's wait for that to load up. And he asked me why the edge-to-edge trade did not play up on the Ichimoku. And if you guys have been following my videos on the Ichimoku, you guys kind of know why I wasn't looking for an edge-to-edge over here, but I was looking for it on Ethereum. If not, I'm likely, the guy who asked me was in the seed program, so I'm likely going to be including all of this. I am going to be including all of this in the seed program. I will have a special section on Ichimoku where I will be talking about all of this. So right now there's not enough time to go into all of that, and that's a much longer discussion. But yeah, for Bitcoin I was doing the opposite, right? I was actually taking profits, but for Ethereum I was trying to build on a potential trend trade. Now that does sound a little bit counterintuitive, but don't worry about it. I had my reasons for it. Okay, so yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. We have to wait for the week to close. We are I think around 13 hours before closing now, 15 hours. Not the best look, right? Let's go ahead and talk about this Ichimoku closing underneath the cloud over here, and the Tenkin, losing the Tenkin, the Kijun, and the Ichimoku as well on the weekly basis would make a short opportunity very, very easy for me. We have not done that just yet, so I'm not looking to front run myself at all. Other than that, if we close back into the cloud, we close heavily into the cloud, somewhere around 8,800. That's not going to be a bad look at all. Perhaps we do get another try around 9,200, and what we do from there on the daily time frame is going to give me a better idea. For now, sometimes it's just better to be hands off and wait for things to be a little bit more clear on all fronts. Okay, remember guys, traditional markets too, how we open tomorrow, how things pan out over the next couple of weeks is going to be very, very important. No reason to front run ourselves. The big trade is coming, likely going to come soon. Actually, soon could mean a couple of weeks though, so you have to be patient. Think about this, guys. We ran this trade, we were patient this entire time, and we got a really good move, right? A good 30% move, and we were patient for this. So let's be patient for the next trade too. My name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Please leave a comment down below as to what you guys like, what you guys don't like, any requests, any of it. any of it. Throw it a like, and hey, throw it a subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Sean Dexter. Ciao.